Alien woman marry with human man as a thank you gift. The storm had almost torn the outpost apart. Earth's first colony on the fringes of the Xylan system had been built in haste. Metal shelters bolted into red dust, flimsy windbreaks against the gales. But that night, the storm was no ordinary wind. The alien tempest had howled like claws over steel, shaking doors loose, sending sand the size of pebbles flying like bullets. When dawn finally broke, the outpost was half buried and its people shaken. Many humans had suffered injuries, but one man, Aaron Hale, had walked away from the ruins battered and coated in dust but still alive. Alive because he had been outside. Alive because he had dragged someone else back inside first. That someone was not human. Aaron had found her clinging to a fallen support beam, her tall, silver-gray form bent under its weight. Her skin shimmered faintly in the stormlight, and her eyes, huge, slanted, with a liquid violet glow, were filled with pain. She was Xylari, one of the natives the humans had only cautiously begun trading with. He should have left her. That was what the others might have done. The outpost commander's orders had been clear. Don't get involved in native affairs. Don't risk yourself for them. But when her hand had reached weakly toward him, when he had seen the broken set of her leg and the terror in her alien gaze, Aaron hadn't been able to turn away. He had wedged his shoulder under the beam, teeth gritted, and lifted until she slid free. Then he had carried her through the gale, step by agonizing step, until they stumbled back into the outpost airlock. That was the night everything changed. Her name was Lyra. She belonged to one of the higher houses of her people, though Aaron only discovered that much later. In the days that followed, she healed in the outpost infirmary, her strange blood clotting under the careful attention of both human medics and her own people, who soon arrived to take her home. When they did, her kin bowed deeply to Aaron. The one who carries her life now carries our honor, they told him through the translator. Aaron had only nodded awkwardly, brushing off their gratitude. To him, it had been simple. A life needed saving, and he'd saved it. That was what his father had taught him back on Earth's farms. But to the Xylari, it was not simple at all. Weeks later, when the storms had passed and trade routes were open again, an escort of alien riders appeared outside the human colony gates. They were clad in flowing armor, mounted on beasts that looked like a cross between a lion and a scaled serpent. At their head rode Lyra. Whole again, her legs strong, she dismounted with regal grace. Her people's translator orb shimmered at her side as she spoke. Aaron Hale, she said, her violet eyes glowing steadily. I am here to settle the debt of life. Aaron blinked.
Debt.
You carried me from death. You bore my weight when the storm would have ended me. Among my people, there is only one way to repay such a gift. She stepped closer, her tall form casting a shadow over him. I will be your bondmate, your wife. The humans watching from behind the gates gasped. Aaron's mouth went dry. Wait, marriage? I wasn't expecting. But Lyra only inclined her head, as if the decision had already been made. The weeks that followed blurred. Aaron tried to protest, but the alien custom was unbending. To refuse would be to insult her people, to shame her house, and to dishonor the bond of life she owed him. The outpost commander pulled him aside one night. You may not like it, Aaron, but this could change everything. If one of theirs weds one of ours, it could mean peace.
Trust. Trade.
We'd be fools to throw that away. So Aaron agreed, though uneasily. The wedding was unlike anything he had imagined. No human chapel, no white dress. Instead, under the light of the twin moons, Lyra's people wove glowing vines into arches of silver fire. The air shimmered with the scent of resin and song. Aaron stood in ceremonial garb stitched by alien hands, while Lyra approached in robes of woven crystal thread, her eyes never leaving his. When she placed her hand against his chest, the vines flared brighter. Their translator announced, "Life for life, bond for bond, two threads woven into one." The xylari cheered. Aaron only swallowed hard, wondering what he had just stepped into. Marriage, he soon discovered, was not symbolic among the xylari. It was binding in ways he had never dreamed. Lyra moved into the human outpost, but she brought with her traditions. Each dawn, she painted faint sigils on the walls of their quarters, protective marks against spirits of the wind. Each evening, she shared food he barely recognized, glowing fruit, spiced roots that numbed his tongue, meat that sizzled with strange scents. At first, Aaron thought they were too different. She was tall and regal, speaking in tones that felt more like proclamations than conversation. He was a simple man who had grown up fixing tractors and fighting with rusted bolts. Yet as the days became weeks, he began to notice small things. The way she listened when he spoke, violet eyes intent. The way she laughed, not often, but rich and deep, when he stumbled over her people's words. The way she touched his hand gently before they slept, as though reminding herself he was still real. Slowly, awkwardly, something more than obligation began to grow. Trouble came sooner than either expected. A rival clan of xylari challenged the bond. They claimed Lyra's marriage to a human weakened their traditions, diluted their bloodlines. Warriors appeared at the edge of the outpost, demanding she annul the bond and return to her people. Aaron had no power in alien politics, but he stood by her side anyway. When the rival leader sneered, "He is not even of our blood. He is dirt under your feet," Aaron stepped forward. His hands shook, but his voice held. "Maybe I am dirt," he said, "but I carried her when no one else would. Dirt can still keep roots alive." Lyra's hand slipped into his. "And he is mine," she declared, her voice ringing like a blade. "Life for life, bond for bond. Break this vow, and you break me." The rivals left in anger, but they left nonetheless. That night, Lyra touched Aaron's face with trembling fingers. "You defended me as if you were born of my people," she whispered. Aaron shook his head. "I just didn't want to lose you." And in her violet eyes, he saw the first unguarded warmth, the first spark that wasn't just duty, but something deeper. Seasons passed. The outpost grew stronger, and with it, so did the strange bond between man and alien. Aaron learned to eat the glowing fruit without grimacing. Lyra learned to patch rusting metal with a human wrench. Together, they built something neither had expected, a life. One evening, as the twin moons rose again, Aaron looked at her across the fire. "You said once you married me as a gift. A thank you." "Yes," she replied softly. "Do you still see it that way?" Lyra was quiet for a long time. Then she moved closer, pressing her forehead to his in the xylari way. "No, human. Not a gift. A choice. And if I could choose again, I would." For the first time since that storm, Aaron believed her. And as the night winds swept over their shelter, carrying dust and starlight, he realized the strangest thing of all. The thank you gift had become the greatest gift he had ever received.